last night, and so now I'm like, but I'll do my best to be engaging on.
You sound pretty chipper.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And we're live. Welcome. This is the live stream, not the podcast. So anybody who is watching right now, we are just getting
Hi,
ready.
Mom.
Hi, Grandma. We're just getting ready here in the studio. Why don't we just talk about the fact that we are here? Maybe just a little banter. You can introduce yourself to each other while I'm, getting the word out that we're live, and then we're going to start the podcast.
Yeah. So we're live right now, huh? Yeah. All right.
This was pretty seamless.
Pretty seamless.
Not even a moment to become nervous.
No.
No nervous. All of us are so pretty people, so it's a good chance to be together to start the morning from this. The next fair morning. I'm Yuliia Kozlovets. I'm from Kyiv, Ukraine. I'm director of the International Book Arsenal Festival held in Kyiv, and I'm also part of the big Ukrainian delegation here at the fair. I don't remember which exactly fair, my Frankfurt fair is it, but something like 6 or 7, and every year it's something different, of course, for all of us. But it's usually one of the most excited impressions during the whole year for all the publishers and all the publishing people. Yeah.
Nice. That's great. Tim, tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm Tim Leberecht. I'm the co-founder of the House of Beautiful Business, which is a global community of people who want to transform work. We're also publishers. We run a Substack. And then an author. So I wrote 2 books. Third one, I just submitted the initial manuscript. It'll take another, 18 months, I guess, to get it out to the world. And this is my first time here, and I spent about 5 minutes here. So I really know nothing. But I love book people, and when I arrived and I picked up the vibe, I'm like, oh, this is great. Actually, I want to spend more time here. There's a really nice energy to the
I'll kick us off officially now. This was just like the little warm-up, doing some
warm-up.
pull-ups.
We're doing it. All right.
Welcome to On the Books, presented by Publishing Perspectives and Remote Daily. On the Books is a new morning show for the global publishing community. While the fair is just waking up, the sun is rising over cloudy Frankfurt. We are here in a cozy podcast studio. It's getting warm. I can feel it. And we have a beautiful group here of guests today, and our goal is to bring sharp insights, some gossip, news from the industry, and of course highlights from this gathering together with irresistible guests. I'm going to say it again, all to you out there. And this is day 3. So opposite of me is my co-host, the brilliant Erin Cox, who had, I think, 200 panels, about 39,000 meetings over the last 48 hours. How are you still standing, Erin?
I don't
Seriously.
know. Well, luckily I'm sitting, so that helps. It's it's a typical book fair, right? That's all we do is we run until we get on the plane and collapse. So,
And then
we're
there's
just keeping going.
some partying in between.
Some partying in between.
I heard.
Yeah.
You're the publisher of Publishing Perspectives.
I am.
So I'm
Yes,
always
and-
kicking off On the Books by saying, founder of Remote Daily, publisher of Publishing Perspectives.
Yes.
News come from you. You're putting out a newsletter every day. You're publishing a magazine for the entire global publishing community. What's the headlines of today? What's cooking?
Today, the thing that everyone is talking about, we had 1 million panels on it yesterday. You were on one, I was on one, or we were moderating them. But about AI, I think artificial intelligence is everywhere. It's everywhere in our daily lives, but it's everywhere in publishing. It's been the sort of hot topic for the last 3 years. It continues to be so. But I think we're getting to a turning point where it's sort of like we can't ignore it anymore. We have to just go. We have to embrace it. We have to see how it works in our lives. We have to see how it works in our workflow. We have to see how it, how we can adapt to all of this technology and how we can use it for ourselves. And I think, the big headline is, it's impacting copyright, authors, jobs are going to be, eliminated, all of these things. Those are the fears. Those are the things that people are mostly talking about. But we actually saw a lot of people saying, actually it can be quite useful. It can help with solving problems, and it can help with, emerging markets and things, being able to use this technology to expand in ways that the infrastructure wouldn't allow for.
Yeah.
So,
Also, I have to say, I had humans on stage. You were talking to an AI on stage. I'm team human. Mm-hmm. Just saying,
I'm team human too. Amanda Collins, our AI agent, like bounced from the stage though halfway through. She got tired of us and left. So.
Unreliable.
Yes,
unreliable.
She was unreliable.
And we did a poll with the entire audience. We had an online audience and, of course, in the room, hundreds of people. And we had a poll, who's going to win the battle for reality, humans or AI? And we won.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's
and I
good
think
news.
part of the reason is there were few humanoids in the audience, so we're still in the majority. That brings me to our guests, two wonderful humans who are with us, builders of communities, of festivals, of gatherings. From bookstore owner to child literature specialist to the main curator behind Arsenal, the largest literary festival in Ukraine, coming to Frankfurt from Kyiv every year. And I get goosebumps just thinking of the fact that you're here. Yuliia Kozlovets. Yuliia, welcome to On the Books.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure. Yeah, thank you.
How are you?
The most common question, which is usually asked to every Ukrainian during the last 4 years, is how are you doing?
Yeah.
The answer is we are doing. So
You're
this
doing.
is the answer.
You're
We are
doing.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And joining you, right across from you, is a man who also had an amazing journey, from guitarist and singer in a pop band in Germany to Silicon Valley entrepreneur and a marketing genius to best-selling author and co-founder of the House of Beautiful Business. I just love saying this, House of Beautiful Business.
I know.
So
Me
great what you
too.
created. A community and festival for the life-centered economy, and he himself being a global German living between
A global German, I like that.
living between Istanbul and Atlanta. Is that somewhat precise?
That's right. And
Tim
maybe
Leberecht,
probably
welcome, Tim.
the only one who's sort of traveling that axis between the Middle East, between Istanbul and Atlanta. Yeah, I also had a beautiful train journey from Stuttgart in the south of Germany where my dad lives. And this is my first time ever, even though I'm a publisher with the House of Beautiful Business. We publish a lot. And an author, but I never really smelt, the vibe of the book fair, and I'm quite intrigued to be here for the first time.
We're early in the morning. This is a morning show, so people are lining up outside. It's very crowded today because today is the day where the business community meets the general public.
Yes. Yeah.
Friday is the day when it's a dangerous crossover for everybody has a booth, because in the morning you still have your meetings, and then there's hundreds of thousands of readers flooding the Frankfurt Fairgrounds, excited to meet authors, to meet the heroes and hear the stories. And it's always a crazy day at the Friday, right?
It is. Well, I mean, not every year. I mean, just in the last couple of years, they've let the public in on Friday, and so you can watch.
Let them in.
You can watch yes, let them in. You can see publishers start to get nervous the closer it gets to the time when they come in.
Readers.
I know. Yes, exactly.
Real readers.
What do we do?
They exist.
Exactly.
That's stuck behind our tables.
Exactly. Yeah. What I really want to do is get publishers' cosplay outfit so that they could just blend in, with all of the German readers who are here. Yeah.
Last year over the weekend, I ran into Jürgen Boos, the head of the book fair, and I said, "Jürgen, how are you?" And he said, "Well, we're the biggest bookstore in the world right now." I think it was on Saturday. Yeah. And he said, this turns into the biggest bookstore in the world just over a weekend, and then it's all gone. And I don't know how to describe it. And actually, I wanted to ask you, Yuliia, because Arsenal is such a special place. How many people do you gather every year?
This year we had the 13th edition of the festival in May, May, and there were 28,000 of people in 3 days.
Wow.
28,000 people.
Yeah,
and you are responsible
Yeah, I'm director
for
of
them.
the festival, and this very high responsibility, especially in Ukraine, which lives in the war conditions. So there are regular attacks on Kyiv as well. Kyiv is a capital, so it's one of the targets for the Russian aggression. So we are responsible for these people, not only to gather them and to give them the most wonderful fair impression or the most wonderful literature festival impression, the programming and everything, but also for the security, of course. So doing the festival now in Ukraine is not only just being the festival manager or director, but it's also being a security manager, being like, the manager for, for example, for the electricity,
which gets shut off
generators.
regular,
and,
right?
we have shutouts all the time. So in order to be secure for the programming, for example, we are building the alternative network for the electricity generators to be safe, like if there will be something. So this year we had a few, two exactly, during the fair time air attacks. So we were evacuating everybody. We stopped the festival and evacuated immediately people. So all our trainings to volunteers, training to the security people, they were really, very, very workful and, meaningful for us. So everything goes okay, and I'm happy. We have now this experience as well, to amplify a bit, our protocols, but we know that it works, so we can, be more, stable and, planning with a bit more.
You know that it works because you've been doing this for 6 years and you just didn't stop, right?
We are doing it for 4 years in the, in the
with
conditions
the
of the,
but
for the full scale.
But you just continued doing it, and the Ukrainian president, of course, is a visitor. You have people who travel from all the world to be there, and I think of you a lot. Just of you as a gatherer and the community builder, and how you go through day and night at this time. How is it for you to come here to Frankfurt? Is that somewhat surreal?
3 days, for example.
3 days to come here.
If Ukrainian want to come here, for example, to have a stand, so you should use 3 days in one direction, and after the 3 days, after everything is finished, so it's not just jump to the plane and have a bit rest. So you need to want to do it very, very much, because you should be really dedicated. So this is about Ukrainians, that we are dedicated to what we are doing, and this is actually the reason why we are here, and the reason why we are doing the festival. And the festival in Ukraine is also a place of great inspiration. All of the foreigners who are coming, which is also not so easy for them, because they are also going by, bus, train, bus, after plane to Warsaw, for example. So those who are coming, they feel this atmosphere of the festival, feel of, the atmosphere of great unity of people, great, the atmosphere of victory, because we are, celebrating that we are here alive, we are doing what we want, we have our literature, our culture, we have our festival. It's a place of great inspiration for everybody who is doing books or doing publishing business. It's very, very special place, really,
and important for the public to see that this is your way to sort of stand up, right, and say we're here, we're doing, and give them a safe space to come together and say the same.
Exactly.
So important.
And for part of our authors, for example, they're coming from the front line. We are listening to their experience, to their stories. It's very, very, sincere things, which, and the literature gives us this opportunity to, to share these experiences, because we are living very different experiences during the war. It depends on what are you doing, where are you living, and so on and so on. So it's also a place of this, translating of the experiences, and if you know what I mean. So the last focus theme of the TERS Festival was Everything is Translation, and the curators of this focus theme were Oksana Forostin, a Ukrainian journalist and writer and translator, and Marcy Shore, known historian from Yale University and now from University in Toronto, and they proposed this metaphor as the topic about ways to understand each other, about the role of translator now in this crazy world when every nation is, overcoming some challenges and living very, very different experiences. And if we want to understand each other, we should, play with translation, interpreting, explaining, looking for the right tone of voice, and so on and so. So it's very, very international topic. So this is why we brought also a few speakers from our program program to the program in Frankfurt, and they will be in the stands, in the stages here in Frankfurt Buchmesse to talk about this international, optics of what's going on in every country. So this is the
and I think that's the important thing is that, you're bringing people together and sharing, even though your perspective and everything that's happening to you in your day-to-day life is very different to what's happening to me in my day-to-day life, and the same for Felix and Tim. Like, we all have sort of shared experiences or shared humanity. And so sometimes we don't speak the same languages, but we can find a way to communicate and find that shared humanity. And that's so important. And I think that's something that very much we do at the book fair. And I think Tim does in his work and Felix does in his work. So it's important. I think I'm glad we're all here together to talk about it.
What surprised you so far in Frankfurt, Yuliia? Was there anything that
I'm really very much inspired with the members of our this year's special program for publishers from Ukraine and neighboring countries. This is a project which is run by Frankfurter Buchmesse, and we are partners from Ukrainian side of this project, or co-organizer of it. In previous more peaceful years, we were organizing such a program in Kyiv together with Frankfurt, because Frankfurt was organizing the German story stand usually at Book Arsenal. And after that, we had usually the summer school for, summer academy for publishers, bringing publishers together to share experience and everything. And we had an idea to have it in 2022, but when the invasion started, it was very clearly understood that it's impossible to do it in Kyiv. So we moved it to Frankfurt, and the foreign office of Germany supported the idea. So now it's like the 4th season, and this year we have an incredible group, 15 people, so dedicated to what they are doing. They are literature agents, they are rights managers from different publishers. We have 10 countries.
Can you name some of the countries?
Yeah, Ukraine, Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Romania, Moldova. So 15 people.
Wow.
They are networking themselves, and together with the previous seasons, there are 60 people from these countries which have so many common things. They are so quickly, understanding each other. They are, today they have like half of the day free from the official meetings of the program. So they have agreed already in the hotel that they will have the B2B very quickly organized sessions between themselves to sell books, to write books, to buy rights and so on, to discuss things. And this initiative is great, really. First of all, it's positions Frankfurter Buchmesse as a leader in the region as well. Coming with the experience of the most prominent German publishers who have this experience of buying rights, selling rights. They're sharing with the colleagues, and the community. The force of and strength of this community which we are building is incredible. Really, it's for future. It's not only one time visiting Frankfurt. It's for next generations, for future. We had a session with our alumni from the previous years, and they were saying that how big successes they have already been, knowing each other here in Frankfurt last year. They are doing things together this year. They are presenting their new titles here in Frankfurt. So it's incredible how it works.
The weaves of community. And Erin, you were on stage with, who was it? Alexei,
Erin Schock from Sens.
Yes.
He was fantastic. Yeah,
the bookseller. It's also there is some kind of a miracle how things are, going in the country in war, when bookshops are opening and a lot of people are gathering. It's such a big demand. And
he said he did 50 events a month.
Yeah,
and I was like, 50 events. That's more than one event a day. And he said, but it's important because we're bringing people together. It's volunteer events. It's just bringing the community together to talk about what's going on, to feel strong, to sort of preserve Ukrainian history, to celebrate Ukrainian literature. It's
and
really
it's also
important.
Very big interest among the audience in Ukrainian history in books, in non-fiction books, in the books from authors who are now in war or who are refugees. It's very, very big, interest from the audience to our people, to our authors, and we are bringing them here to share this also with the international. So it's really how it works. I think that this inspiration of the atmosphere of being with us, standing with us, it also make people stronger because you are on the right side of the struggle for the best future, and it makes you inspired with this.
I have sometimes a hard time talking about it, and I feel there's some survivor's guilt, there's some escapism. not really wanting to touch this. There's also maybe an inability that I have to grasp an event that I'm privileged enough to not have experienced, and have a very hard time to even find words to talk about. I hope this is not a weird question to you, but do you have advice for me?
Yeah, read books. Read books, talk to people.
Good advice.
The best thing is to know the personal story.
Yeah.
It will give you much more. It will be one personal story, another one. You will have the broader picture finally. Just read books. Fantastic authors are now writing. They are being translated into different languages. We have this, very high increasing of interest to Ukrainian literature as well, because the world wants to understand how it happens. What's going on? What's wrong? What we have done as a democratic society that it happens now in the middle of Europe.
Yeah.
It's like the most awful war since the Second World War. What's going on? And that is not the only war in the world. So there are so many crazy things happening. How it comes that? What should we do? What should we change very quickly?
Yeah.
And we can do it. Like if we will do some small things on your working place, or you're like a citizen, to some bigger things. If you will unite with people all together, if we will read good books, trying to understand, trying to share, if we will read the book and after that give it to somebody else, with your annotation that, look, this here you will find something. Yes. You will either escape as you are saying, or you will cry after that.
Yeah.
But it's like, your human emotion, which makes you human, and which make you on the right side of the struggle, as I said.
Yes.
So this is how it works.
Out of the many books that you could pick, is there one that you want to pick?
Here in
recommend to me?
To recommend. For example, there is Andrei Lubka's very fresh translation to German. We are presented it tomorrow. Or, for example, Victoria Melina book. She was killed just after being the speaker at the festival, at Book Arsenal Festival in 2023. She was together with the foreign delegation, who was also in Book Arsenal, and they went to Kramatorsk, which is not far from the front line, and they were supposed to, catch the attack, and she was killed, and she is now well known and translated to different languages. She's a poet, she's an essayist, so she's very, very fresh voice. She was so young and talented, so you could read it. And Arthur Dron, the guy, very young guy, like 20-something plus something years. He was on the front line. He was badly wounded. He was first poet, and now he's writing diaries. So fresh. So, as a young boy, he's telling about a young man. He's telling about awful things with so much light, and he's in his imagination, he's looking for the nature, and he hears the awful explosion sound, and again in nature, you are living with this, with these characters, with these stories. So there are incredible stories now coming from Ukraine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so intrigued. I mean, it's also for you, Tim. Now hearing this, I had the honor to host Yuliia 2 years ago at the Hof, the live series. I have the honor to host for Frankfurt Book Fair online, and we had this conversation here in Frankfurt 2 years ago. And back then, there was a lot of organizations and communities that put out peace statements. We're for peace. And I will never forget how you said, well, when you're outside of a conflict, it's kind of easy to be for peace. When you're part of a conflict, you have to pick a side. Yeah. And I'll never forget that. And I'm so glad you're here today and sharing again how you're, pulling people together. And I ask you how you're doing. I'm doing. You're doing.
Thank you.
Good.
So thank you for being here, Yuliia.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Tim, I was just wondering, you're a gatherer, you're somebody who curates and brings people together on 3 continents now, Europe, Africa, and America. When you listen to Yuliia, you were meeting here today for the first time. What is going through your head?
Yeah, just awe and admiration and just appreciation. And I don't even know what to say, except that I find it so hopeful that art is maybe the most powerful form of resistance. So actually a member of our community, her name is also Yuliia, is actually co-hosting a Vogue fashion festival in the Ukraine. I believe it's in November. And I read about it, and I was like, wow, that is kind of crazy, right? Looking at it from the outside, but so important that it's actually, as you said, that you're doing, and that
exactly.
We actually a few years ago in 2023 we invited an ensemble of Ukrainian actors to our festival in Portugal, and we gave them a carte blanche, a license, which unfortunately, they interpreted very widely to hack the program and to stage intervention. So they came on stage at any given moment they wanted to. And the reason was we wanted to give them a voice, right? We said, well, by disrupt the reality that we're so carefully constructing in Portugal, so far away from this conflict. And it was an interesting experience. And then actually at the Venice Art Biennale, I believe it was last year, there was an exhibition. So I forgot which country had given Ukraine. They had basically delegated their or gifted their pavilion to Ukraine. And then there was an installation called Repeat After Me, which I will never forget. And it was essentially mimicking a karaoke. And there were films of people from the front lines or Ukrainians who performed the sounds of war. Oh, wow. And then invited the audience to repeat them. And it was such an interesting artistic dialogue between, sort of the voyeur repeating these sounds. Yeah. A very visceral, in a way, experience of war.
This is about the fact that arts and literature actually are giving to everybody much more than news. Like, you are tired on news after, listening to the newsletters from war or from country in war, like for the more than 3 years. It's like, every people living in some better conditions will just be tired and annoyed with it. But arts and literature, it gives you much more than just facts. It's not about facts, it's about human beings which are living in very different conditions, and you are just in actually makes you curious about this, and about much more about just knowing how many people were killed during the last night. It's about something else, and it gives you much more power.
Yes. Yeah.
Tim, you're with your own community and your festival on a mission to make business more beautiful. And you're laughing.
I'm laughing. Yes. I'm intrigued to hear how that works.
We need to know more about the
tell me beautiful business. Define that.
You even wrote a book about it, The Business Romantic, which I love the title. I love that you created a house around it that thousands of people from all over the world now live in. Virtually, you do online gatherings and offline gatherings. And of course, we're doing this morning show for the publishing industry, for people that are publishing professionals like Yuliia, like Erin, and the people that are putting up their stands outside. First meetings are starting right now. I think it's 9:15 is usually when they kick off. What does making business more beautiful mean for the publishing industry, Tim? Can you maybe help us translate your mission?
Yes. I mean, first of all, maybe I should talk a little bit about what we mean by beautiful business. The book that I wrote in 2015, The Business Romantic, was the spark that created this community in a way, or at least for me, the spark. I mean, not so much for the community, and the book explored the tropes of romanticism, so the arts and literature movement, and how relevant it actually, surprisingly for me, still was, particularly with respect to this disenchantment that I observed caused by an obsession with datafication and quantification. So the Silicon Valley thinking, essentially, that's been
where you lived for a long time.
Where I lived for 11 years and worked in the design industry. And then Beautiful Business, or the House of Beautiful Business, was built on the heels of the book release and was trying to create a broader tent, because everybody wants to have a beautiful life, right? If you ask people, they're like, I want to have a beautiful life. I want to have a beautiful future. Now, we're shying away from defining that. There is, of course, the Dostoevsky, Beauty Can Save the World. Fernando Pessoa, the Portuguese writer, said, beauty is what does not exist, which is really beautiful. So I think it's a negative space that we project into, that we invite the community to project into. And particularly in business, we love the friction, right? Business and beauty, really? How is that going to work? And the temptation is to think, well, it is purpose-driven. It's social impact oriented. That's all true. It's sustainable. That's all true. But I think what we mean is particularly a brand of humanist business that is inspired from the arts and the humanities and a much broader notion of what it means to be human that we often neglect in business. And then to celebrate that and to stage it in the form of actually very theatrical, immersive experience. We always say we're like a combination. If the World Economic Forum had a child with the Cirque du Soleil, it'll be us. So it's fun, it's joyful. How does it relate to the publishing industry? I mean, I feel like so so close to the publishing industry. I mean, we publish a lot of content. We're very content driven. We're ideas and content people. So naturally, of course, and many of the speakers we curate are writers, right? They have written a book, and so we engage with ideas. And I think the publishing industry is probably one of the last remaining old traditional bastions of beautiful business in a way. And it can be now at this critical juncture, hopefully it can become even more powerfully become one, right? That kind of upholds humanism, exactly what you said, Yuliia, right? Build empathy, create a sensitivity, a sentimental education, which are books are really perfectly suited for, that we so desperately need. But not only that, it's not just that we need it to survive, we also need it to thrive, because AI, the topic that everybody is talking about, of course at the book fair as well, is going to infringe on our humanity, and the lines between human and AI, as we all know, are becoming very blurry. So what will remain for us is exactly that sentimentality, the emotional capacity, the imagination that I think books and writers and literature are so good at. So it's, if anything gives me hope for the future, it's exactly that there are books, and that there's imagination, and that we connect through books.
Yeah, I love that. Okay,
Right.
I'm on board.
You're on board?
I'm on board.
Okay.
I can see how we can do this.
This was 5 minutes, and you went from beautiful business
I
to,
was just,
okay, I'm on board.
I couldn't envision it, and then Tim
But
described
that's
it, and I was like,
exactly
okay,
it.
I love it. Yeah.
I was just thinking, is publishing really beautiful?
It is beautiful.
It is beautiful, right? Yeah. So it's now been 5 years for me since I've had the chance to enter this world in COVID. And what strikes me so much about the worlds you're creating here is, yes, there's all the technical change, the technological change, and but there's a lot bubbling under the surface. But on the surface, here, it's one of the most human gatherings that I know of. And we had, on the first day we did our morning show, we had Prashant Pathak, who runs Publishers Without Borders, a huge global community, came to life in COVID, and who said, don't come to Frankfurt for 1 year and think you can be super transactional and pull some business and get some leads and walk away. No, you need at least a 5-year plan, because it's humans here, and they want to get to know you. And only when they get to know you, they will invest in you. And I thought that was, I don't know, Tim, you're the judge here, but I thought that was kind of beautiful to hear that.
I always find like the amount of gossip that comes out of a gathering is an indicator of how human it is. And from what I understand, there's a lot of gossip at the Frankfurt Book Fair. So it's a real community. It's very human. That's exactly the vibe I'm picking up on.
Do you remember those years when all the fairs were cancelled because of COVID?
Yes.
It was the year when the half online appeared, and how crazy it was. Like, when we gathered again in the next fair, we were like hungry for the hugs, to meet people, to meet real people. So it was really the moment of understanding how much personal is in this business. How we need each other, how it's about more than about community. It's about beauty of community. Finally, and this was like really the moment of understanding of the sense of this business, because it's about people. It's about people who read.
And this extends to the guest of honor country. I was so moved when the senator from the Philippines, in her opening speech, said, I mean, this is the Philippines. This is the other side of the globe from here. And she was at Frankfurt Book Fair 10 years ago. And she decided when she was here that the Philippines, her home country, is going to be the guest of honor country. And it took her 10 years, and she made it happen this year. And she got on stage and she said it, and she said it with pride. And then she started to tell this beautiful story about a Filipino author living in Germany, writing a book that changed the sentiment in his home country. And I was just sitting there and thinking, what, this is beautiful, isn't it, Tim? Is that?
I think that's beautiful. Yeah, I thinking long term, but what is also so beautiful about publishing is that at the end of the day, no matter how much data you have and how many focus groups you run and how many algorithmic predictions you run, you have no idea what's going to resonate. No. You don't know what people are going to read. This might be changing now as well, because I mean this is a whole other conversation. But I think, but I think there is this uncertainty that I think is actually quite romantic or beautiful, right? That's also
it's also about the fairs and festivals, this kind of a serendipity which makes like a miracle. You know, you never expect, and finally you meet somebody, you see something, you're catch with something.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's all about personal feelings. You know, I work in book publicity and marketing, and it's always, somebody said, how do you know, you know, a numbers guy said, how do you know something's going to work? And I said, I don't. But I talk to enough people, and I have a sense of what people are feeling. Yeah. So I know that this book will, I have a feeling that this book will resonate. And he was like, I can't predict things on feelings. And I said, well, you're just going to have to trust me. That's just how it works. And so, you know, you sort of, you come to a book fair and you talk to people and you say, oh, yes, we both feel the same feeling. Oh, great. Well, there must be a book around here that we can, you know, use to tap into this, or I can share with you, or something like that. And so, I love that. I love the personal touch of it all. Yeah.
And back to Tim's point about gossip, any gossip you want to share?
The hot goss.
Should be a category. There should be a little
we do
fanfare. Hot goss.
Hot goss. Nothing that I can share publicly.
Oh, come on. It's just our family's watching.
Yeah. Hi, Dad. No. I can't give any hot goss. Hot goss. No.
Well, what interests me always gossip-wise is what is the most stolen book.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And yesterday I got one recommendation. The German title is Die Holländerinnen, or Die Holländerin, from a German author who lives in New York City.
The Dutch women, or the Dutch,
yes.
Duchesses?
And it was funny because a friend of mine said on Amazon you can't order it at the moment, out of stock. And of course the publisher is here. And then we went to the stand and we saw somebody frantically out of boxes restaffing the shelves because people are just stealing it. And these are publishing professionals. We're not talking about the general public. I just want to make sure. And then I realized
we're the worst thieves.
How many people are stealing books here. It's incredible.
And they know they should pay, or is the assumption that it's just
That's a great
promotional?
Question.
That's maybe I would probably think if the books are. Well, I shouldn't say this. Maybe I would steal too.
Too late.
Too late.
A friend who is a journalist said yesterday to me, in another life, I would have been a thief. And I thought that was a beautiful thing to say.
Nice.
But seriously, I think there's a sort of, you know, there's a professional interest, but it's also a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory moment.
Yeah.
When the sun sets, the lights are going to be dim, and there's less people in the halls, and you're just wandering around saying, oh my God, look at that book.
It's a bit of thrill.
And it's just there, and there's other books. The book is there like 10 times, right? It's not just one on the shelf,
so
and if you take it off,
you feel like it's okay. Because there are others there.
A little bit. It's kind of the chocolate stream is kind of
I
floating.
think that's
Have you a little bucket?
What the book pirates think,
Yesterday
right?
I
Like, oh, there's so many of them. Well, might as well just copy it and put it into Entropic's LLM.
Yesterday I received a question from one of the guys whether he can hide somewhere under the stand and the shelf for the night, like
for the night?
stay for the night. Like,
a night at the
somebody
museum?
will, is security
Sounds
really
like a great novel.
carefully checking
Oh
everything,
my
or it's a
gosh.
possibility?
That's
So,
hilarious.
A night at the book fair? We
funny.
should totally do that.
Yeah.
And we have a tough schedule. Erin, how many meetings do you have today?
Well, today I'm hosting a master class at 10, so I have to.
That's in like 2 minutes. Okay.
We have to close soon, and then I'm hosting a workshop for women actually in the Publisher
super.
Lounge. So it's about sort of self promotion, imposter syndrome, if you're familiar with that. So sort of how to get over that.
I will come. I know some people from the Publisher, and they're so fantastic,
They're so
inspiring
fantastic.
so much.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to Publisher. And I want to give more shout outs. I want to give a huge shout out to Watch Your Head, which are the amazing people that put this cube here for the very first time. This is actually a historic moment for Frankfurt Book Fair. There's a podcast studio. It's open. You can use it. You can come and book it. There's a team who helps you set it up. We're live streaming right now.
And if Felix and I can do it with just a push of the button.
Yeah, we're just pushing a button.
Like
we're not wizards.
Yeah, neither of us knew how to do it, but they made it so easy for us.
So shout out to Ben. I also want to give a huge shout out to what you're doing. So Yuliia, what is next? Where can we invite folks to?
I have next, like 10:30, we have an event at the Ukrainian National Stand, which is called Coffee with Translators.
Oh, nice.
And it will be the very free talk with the few great translators. One is Claudia Data, who is translating from Ukrainian to German, and she's like one of the legends of German translation world.
Wow.
And one more is the Ukrainian translator who is translating from German to Ukrainian. So they will talk about the tips of the profession, like, what funny cases they have, what they can share.
Good.
So it might be a very
be
warm
there.
talk.
Fun.
So
That sounds good.
And in general, for everybody who's maybe listening on demand and is thinking, I want to be where Yuliia is, where should we come? Where should we go to, Yuliia?
My event is 4:30. It will be at the Ukrainian National Stand. They present in the market for the publishing professionals. We will
After
go
Frankfurt Book Fair?
That's it. After Frankfurt Book Fair, there is no life after Frankfurt Book Fair. Like you should,
Well, you have to rest for
I will
yeah.
drive to Ukraine.
Yeah.
You can catch
Oh,
me
boy.
on my way via Poland, something. And
Book
yeah.
Arsenal.
And after that, Book Arsenal, end of next May,
May.
28th to 31st of May. We will open also the fellowship program this year again for the third time. So we are inviting everybody who wants to feel this inspiration and to be in the right place in the right moment.
Great.
I admire you so much, Yuliia.
Thank you.
Tim, where can we follow you to?
Yeah, so
anything today or beyond the book fair?
Today I'm meeting a few people and I'm just roaming the halls and just getting a feeling for the book fair. So
Look
I will
for a
enjoy
tall
that.
German. That's all I'm doing.
Exactly, look for a tall German. That'll be me. There's only one. And then May is going to be a big month next year because our big 10-year anniversary festival, the World Beautiful Business Forum, we call it very modestly, will take place in Athens, Greece. So we're going back to Europe, the cradle of civilization, and 750 people. So come to that World Beautiful
Wonderful.
Business Forum.
Maybe we should
dates.
bring on the books.
May
to-
7th to 10th.
Oh,
So
that's
All
okay.
right.
I will.
I
and I
see,
will
We
Yeah.
can do
say-
both of them.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
I see an exciting May for everybody who wants to
Yeah.
be a part of this in the heart of Europe. And also thank you, Tim. You just made it in time this morning. You were on the train and you brought a beautiful red suitcase, which I think is the color of Frankfurt Book Fair. So I
is.
commanded you. I was like,
Frankfurt red.
great bookcase. And you said, well, it's my partner's because she works at the fair. Your partner is a,
book
is a
agent.
hardworking
Yes, yeah.
book agent from Turkey. So
That's
shout
why the
out
suitcase
to
is red.
Yes. And shout out
Turkish
to all the
color.
agents that are sitting here in the machine room of the book fair. No fresh air, no daylight, and they're just making sure that the best stories land all around the world. So kudos to your partner.
I will
and
pass.
and
I'll
all her
pass that on.
colleagues.
I'm sure she is not listening because she's busy.
The last word?
Thanks.
Are we going to do it?
Yeah, let's
Erin
do it.
is not a fan of it. So when we thought
no.
about how could we end this podcast, ends of podcasts are always a little awkward, right? It's always like, yeah, what do you do?
You could ask us for 3 books that we're reading, like Ezra Klein does, but maybe that's
Oh no,
boring.
that's
It
Ezra's
will take us,
thing.
it will take us
Ezra's thing.
half more hour. You know?
I know exactly. I have to
She
go.
wants
I
to
have
wrap
to
up.
go do it
She
right
wants
now.
to wrap
more.
up. Why don't we just wrap by? Thanks.
No.
The last
Do a
word
French exit.
is
The
what
last
Erin
word.
is always like. Oh my God!
I gotta
Don't
think of-
don't. Now I have to think of a word.
No,
But it's
I've got a good
somewhat.
one.
It was so it worked somehow.
It did.
So maybe you
Let's
have one
say-
Just
word.
one word.
Let's-
Just one
that
word.
we want to end this on. What's
Okay,
Tim?
one word. Tim, you start.
Vibe.
Vibe. Okay. Yuliia.
Перемога, which is victory in Ukraine.
Oh, I love it. Felix.
Love.
I think we should just leave it there.
Great.
This was on the books. So honored to have you. I'm Felix Zeltner.
I'm Erin Cox.
See you very soon.
See you very soon.